everyone, let's talk about this. This is the Roland Boss Katana, and this video is going to get me into trouble. If you own a katana, you may not want to hear this. So let's start with the good. This thing has been an absolute smash hit for Roland Boss. It's one of the most successful guitar amps of all time, and that's saying something, especially considering the company's history. I'm serious, this thing is an absolute money printing machine for Roland Boss. Absolute hit. What they did was over 10 years ago, they decided we're going to produce a product. It's going to target beginner level guitarists and intermediate level guitarists. Basically, anybody who ever said, I need an amp and the amp needs to be modern. It needs to be something I can use in my bedroom as a practice amp thanks to its speaker in the front. It's also something I can gig with. It produces 100 watts, so it can drive two 4x12s if necessary, just like I've shown in previous videos here at the studio. And I don't want to spend a ton of money on effects, but I want it to be very versatile, modern, and have all the latest features. And Roland and Boss came up with this, and it delivered big time. Beginner guitarists love it, intermediate guitarists love it, and the big competitive advantage the Boss had was simply the fact that they had all the effects. They had a library of stomp boxes that have been classics in themselves, and this thing basically models them. That's what it does. This thing models solid-state circuits. Things like the DS1 stomp box. So that's what you get. Very versatile, and as I said, this has been a smash hit. Now for the bad. Here's where it gets a bit weird. You see, like I was saying, this thing models solid-state circuits. It doesn't just model Boss's own stomp boxes, things like the DS1. It can also model other things too, like a tube screamer, so stuff from other companies. And so it's a real bang for the buck because you're getting all of that with the amp. So you get the amp plus a huge library of effects. Now, the thing is, it's good at what it's meant to do, which is modeling solid-state circuits. Okay, that's fine. But the problem is, once Boss realized that they had this absolute powerhouse of a hit on their hands, they started to change the marketing. And they started to position it as something that pro-level guitarists would be into. And I've heard a lot of stuff on the internet about how this thing sounds like a tube amp. And the reality is that it really, really doesn't. It has one Achilles heel, and that is its sound. How can I put this? This thing has the aluminum bag of bees solid state distortion sound, and then some. I've heard all kinds of things from their different channels claiming that, for example, the Crunch channel models a JCM 800, the lead or the Brown channel models a rectifier. You know, I've heard all kinds of stuff about this that's just not true. This thing, its weak link is its sound. For me, personally, I feel like it has one distortion sound and one distortion sound only. And through all the wizardry and all the parameters and all the things you can adjust the EQ and the gain and the compression on that one distortion sound, but it's still one distortion sound that really doesn't sound great. It's got a very high-end, harsh fizz to it that no EQ or any kind of processing can take away because it's fundamentally modeling a solid-state circuit. That's its weak link. Now, if you're a beginning guitarist, you're a beginner, hey, this thing still is awesome. If you're an intermediate guitarist, you know, this thing is still pretty decent, right? But what I think a lot of people object to that not many people are really saying is that the pros don't use this. Boss is trying to position this as something that sounds like tubes, something that the pros use, and they don't. And I think that's what people need to say more. I'm going to put two facts together. Number one, Marshall and a lot of other tube amp companies are selling reissued versions of their classic tube amps. Things like a JCM 800 that costs literally 10 times the suggested retail price of this thing. They're up in the range of about $5,000. And they're selling, and guitarists are choosing that over this, despite the fact that that doesn't come with a library of effects like this does. and it's a little more problematic, arguably, to play, and comes with a lot of headaches and is a bit more finicky. People are still choosing those over this at the pro level, and there's a reason for that, because that sounds like a tube amp, whereas this really, really doesn't. Now, the other thing the other fact I want to put together here is that not many people are using this in the studio. I don't know if you noticed that, but pros are not recording albums with the Boss KATANA. They're still going to Fender tube reverb, they're twin reverb, they're going to Marshalls, they're going to Mesa, they're going to Boogies, they're going to High Watts, they're going to, a lot of the classic players, but they're not starting to record albums with this. The people recording albums with this are kind of the intermediate and beginners, and that's fine. That's fine. I myself have recorded about 4 albums with the KATANA with various bands. And yeah, I think we've pretty much pushed this to the limit in terms of the sound quality, at least the distortion sound quality. Now listen, if you agree with me, great. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. We all have our different perspective and different strokes for different folks. That's what makes the world so interesting and rich. Thank you for watching this far. You guys are awesome. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.